take a pontoon boat through the parking lot of my hotel to get here today. You know, the water's crazy the last couple of days, but you know what? A lot of people go through a lot of stuff to be here this weekend. I mean, you know, canceled flights, delayed flights, you know, 7 bus trips or whatever you had to do to get here. But the reason why, I know that the reason why people want to be here because they know there's something special here. You know, those who've been to the events before know that. Those who haven't been here before have come to see what that's all about. And for me, coming to these events has actually transformed my life, my income, and you know, my family life, and the things that Empower Network has been able to do for me and my family. And I wasn't even going to actually, it's kind of a funny story, because the very first event was in Atlanta, Georgia. And you know, Dave would have been sitting out and really been promoting it and wanted us to people to come to the events. And I've never been to it before, and I wasn't really planning on coming to it. I didn't really care. You know, I was making money with it, and I just thought these things were, you know, I didn't know what the people in suits and ties selling stuff, or just a pitch fest, and I didn't know what to think, you know. So I was in Hawaii with my family, and we had been there for about 2 weeks in Maui, and I watched this video of Dave, and he said, the only person that has an excuse not to be here is Christina Munoz. You guys know who she is? Because she physically can't get up and be here, but if she could, she would. And for some reason, that spoke to me. I don't know if it was, you know, his hypnotic tones or something. I just, yeah, I don't know what it did to me. I watched that video and I talked to my wife, Christy, and I said, well, you know, do you think that I could, you know, that I could go to the event, you know, in Atlanta? Because it was right on the same day as us leaving when we were in Hawaii. So she's like, yeah, that's fine. If you want to do that, it's fine. And at first she was like, well, why do you want to leave Hawaii to go to Atlanta? And I was like, well, you know, because I don't know. I feel like I should be there. I feel like I want to be there. And I don't know why. Like I said, I got hypnotized or something, but I just wanted to go. So I flew, you know, from where I live, from Hawaii to Portland. It's like a 5.5-hour flight. So we went from there to Portland. I got my wife and my kids a cab ride home. I stayed in the airport, had the same luggage, and you know, had the same stuff. 2 hours, waited there 2 hours, and took another flight of like 4.5 hours to get there to Atlanta. So I flew 10 hours, 6-hour time change, no sleep on the plane. My friend Mac, I don't know if he's here in the audience today this morning. Maybe he's still in bed. I don't know. But he let me stay in his hotel room. I didn't even have a hotel room booked. I didn't have anywhere to stay. And I went right through, went there on the very first session in the Saturday morning, just like how it is right here, Saturday morning. It was the first, I missed Friday because I was flying. And it totally blew me away, you know. And I didn't even know why at first, because when I was watching this thing over the weekend, I was like, and at the end of it, I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, you know, there was nobody up here, you know, drawing circles on a whiteboard and stuff, and it was like, you know, we got Dave Wood walking around with his shoes off, talking about, you know, getting boners and touching people's butts and all this stuff. and people were like the most inspired and uplifted and out of anything. I've never seen that before, and you know, the coolest thing for me is like out in the hallways chatting with people, you know, getting to meet people face to face. They would tell things to me like, you know, yeah, I was so, I didn't even speak at that point. I went up on stage to collect a check, that was cool. That was the first experience too. But just like the conversations I've had with people out in the hallways, and what it did for me was like it increased my belief level in Empower Network and what we're doing, and that helped to increase like the belief level of others, you know, because and that was at that point in that event that I stepped in and became present, you know, in my business and Empower Network, where I actually started to see what we were doing, the vision that they had, and what we were actually going for. So that event was was huge for me, you know. And as the rest of the events that I've been to before, not only has my income increased, but I've actually had a huge. For me, it was a pretty big breakthrough when I had our last event in Austin, when we were going through the speaker training with David's brother Will, and I actually realized what my actual purpose was, which was huge for me, because it wasn't about just like, you know, chasing the dollar. I mean, I had been working in the home-based business industry or network marketing, whatever you get, you know, whatever we call it, for about 6 years when I found Empower Network, and I realized that I had been looking for something like Empower Network for 6 years. You know, I had never experienced anything like this before. I'd always just been doing it to, you know, to make money so I could support my family and give us a better lifestyle than just, working 9 to 5 jobs, and I wanted to be there for my family and my kids. And what I realized is that it's not what the real root of what I was doing is I wanted to feel important about myself, and what I'm doing is actually is good, is a benefit to other people, and what I'm doing actually matters. Because I'm sure if you guys, anybody can relate who has who's getting started, maybe you're here right now, you've dealt with it in the past, where you have people that tell you things that are like, well, you should just get a regular job, or you should not, those things don't work, or it only works for the people at the top, or stuff like that, because it can be really, they're kind of shooting you down before you even get started, so it's hard to believe in yourself. Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah. And sometimes when that happens, like when your friends and family or co-workers or whoever it is, loved ones, they're doing that, I think it's because there's 2 reasons. One is because I said, misery loves company. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't mean they're miserable, but they don't want you trying to better yourself, while they're staying at the same level. And 2 is just because they don't know any better. They love you, they care about you, and the family members. They just don't know what you're trying to do, and they think everything's a scam and everything, is a pyramid or whatever you call it. And they're just trying to protect you, but at the same time, it's holding you back from what you really want to do. So I've gone through. Luckily, my lovely wife Christy, sitting right down here, she was never like that to me. She always was very supportive. She said, if you think you can do it, I'm going to be there to support you. And she believed me in every step of the way. And I love you for that, baby. But I think when people do that to you, it's hard to get going, and hard to when you're just you're at home and you're reviewing the business, or you're trying to get started, and you're doing it by yourself, and you're surrounded by that type of negativity, it's hard to believe in yourself and believe that you can actually do it. When you come here to these events and you are surrounded by like-minded people who care about you, believe in you, and then you start to believe in yourself, and you realize that I'm not any different than the guys up on stage who are already being successful. I'm not any different than Tony Rush or Mac or Vic or Tracy Walker or they're just regular people, and if they can do it, I can do it too. But the only difference is, the decision. We made the decision, and we decided, we're taking action to get where we are. And so when you're faced with that, and you come here, and you get surrounded by people like this, and it could be something that I say, or it could be something that Tracy says, it could be something that Vic says, or anybody that comes up here on the stage, Tony Rush says, that inspires you to take action. Because it's not about all of the how-to stuff is in all the products. You can have the best products, which I believe we do, the best system, which I believe we do, the coolest training, and all the stuff you need, which I believe we have all that too. But if you don't do anything with it, nothing's going to happen. Right? So you can have all that stuff, but if you don't take any action to do anything, nothing's going to happen. So when you come here and you're part of these events, and you are, like I said, you become present in your business, and it could be something that somebody says that gets you to take action, then that's worth it. That's worth the trip right there, and that's why we keep coming back, and that's what we really like coming here. Because, like I said, you guys, there isn't going to be anybody up here, in a suit and tie, drawing circles, telling you that, focus on the long-term, income, a 3 to 5 year plan. I mean, who decided that was cool? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I started, looking for a way to make money from home, I mean, I had bills to pay now. I had stuff I needed to do now. Tips over here, they didn't tell them, okay, we'll give you 5 years to pay your mortgage. You need to pay it right now. So when you come, so like I said, you're not gonna hear all that stuff. I mean, what you can do, when you come here and you become part of if you take your business seriously, and you actually take massive action to get started in with your business, you can actually see a change. Because when you make that decision, the change happens. Change can take some time, but to make the decision, it happens in an instant. So like I said, we don't have any of that kind of stuff, or people up, drawing circles on whiteboards and doing all that kind of stuff. But The thing is, too, what's really cool and what I like to tell people is that you can, well, I'm going to start on a different topic here. What you can do, I believe, okay, here in this audience, in our crowd here, is that there is the next, like, Tony Rush, the next Tracy Walker, the next Vic, the next everybody. I mean, you're here right now, and I hope that at the end of this weekend, you go out and you do what you need to do to be up here on stage, you know, collecting check, winning the prizes, winning the contest, and do what you need to do to be here, just like Laura Parrish. I mean, that lady's awesome. She has a great story, and it was great to see her out there tonight. But here's the cool thing, guys. What you can do with this little, you know, $25 internet deal, you come in here, you have the ability to make more in a month than if you want to. If you want it, you have the ability to make more in a month than some people do in a whole entire year. And you have that ability to do that. So when you have those people at home that what we call haters, or they're not, you know, they don't believe in you, or they're trying to tell you to stick with your day job, and those things don't work, you can come back home from Chicago and show them that it's a little $25 internet deal can get you out of your job, you live the life you want, and like I said, you have the potential to make as much as some people do in a year, in a month, if you want to. There's a lot of people that do that, but even if you just started out making 2, 3, 4, 5 grand a month to get you out of your crappy job, and you got your time freedom, to me, that's being rich right there. Because here's the thing, guys. In Atlanta, Georgia, we told you not to be a wussy, right? San Diego, California, taught you how to fight the forces of evil. And a couple months ago in Austin, Texas, we told you how to release your inner badass. But what are we doing here in Chicago?